All right, let's go ahead and get started. Today I'm going to dig a bit deeper into this back of the napkin concept. I've talked about this before. I first brought it up in my book, and then I mentioned it again in the final step of the Start to Success formula, it's called. The reason it's at the end of that course is that it gets into some of the real nuts and bolts of building a knowledge business. However, there are some serious fundamentals in it as well, and it doesn't do any harm to look at it in any stage of your business building. By the way, if you aren't familiar with me or my business yet, that Start to Success up at the top there is my membership program, and everything I do is meant to serve my members in one way or another. So that's why I've got that on these slides. I want to give you a mental framework to take all this in, though, while you're sitting here. As we go through this material, no matter what stage you're in, picture yourself sitting in a cafe or restaurant somewhere. You're brainstorming what direction you want to take your business, and you have one of those aha moments, right? All of a sudden, you have a clear picture of what your business will look like, and you don't want to forget it, so you scribble it down on the back of a napkin. At the end of this webinar, you will have the blueprint to plan your knowledge business on the back of a napkin. You'll be able to start a second income stream while you're still at your job. And ultimately, the goal here is to leap from employee to entrepreneur. You'll know how to start an online business without quitting your job. Yet. You'll use this napkin as a simple reminder of what you're building towards whenever you feel like you're losing direction. And you'll use it to drive your daily activities to avoid getting distracted. The whole point of this is to make very simple and tangible something that can be, a little hard to grasp sometimes. So get that picture in your mind right now and keep it there as we move forward. Here is a very fitting quote for what we're trying to do here. Make things as simple as possible, but not simpler. Actually, I think that's a paraphrase of some kind from something else Mr. Einstein said. But the idea is the important part. We want this back of the napkin drawing to represent the whole of what we're doing with our knowledge business. But let's not pretend this is the only strategy, planning, or hard work we'll need to put into our business. That would be too simple. So I already threw that term knowledge business out there. And maybe this webinar is the first that some of you have ever heard of me. If that's the case, welcome, first of all. And let's just define it really quick. A knowledge business leverages the knowledge that you've already acquired through your work, hobby, passion, or really anywhere else in life to create valuable content in the form of maybe books, courses, and even webinars like what we're doing right now, to people who share your passion and want to learn more about it. The beauty of this kind of business is that you've already done the hard work, which is to gain all this knowledge about some specific area. What remains to be done is to identify the right area, first of all, then find an audience of avid fans, and package and market your knowledge in a format that sells. Now, the beauty of my business specifically is that it's a model for one that you can create. You can mirror exactly what I'm doing in my material, my courses, books, videos, even this webinar that you're watching right now, just in your area of expertise instead of around building a knowledge business. So because of that, your business truly is my business. And when you succeed, I succeed. So I hope you're already a little bit excited to learn about all this. Otherwise, you probably wouldn't be here. So let's assume you're as excited as I am. But I'm going to give one more incentive. If you stay till the end of this webinar, I'm going to show you my exact napkin. That's right. I told you this could be kind of a template for you. Well, I'm going to map out all my products and my goal with this business. Like I said, this will be invaluable to you because you can just copy the strategy to a T. Okay, so first, I need to ask that if you have something else in front of you right now, you put it aside for the webinar. I want to be able to teach you as much as possible and have you come away from this really feeling like you learned something powerful. And the best way to get the most out of it, well, really anything, is to focus on it and it alone. Multitasking is just a way to do two things less than half as good. So don't try it. Now, I'm going to give you all my number one productivity hack right now. It's called airplane mode, and I use it all the time. Switch your phones to it or shut them off entirely, or maybe you know how to use that do not disturb thing. One way or another, though, get your phone off. Close out of Facebook, your email, and everything. Get all that stuff aside. Get something ready that you can have to take notes on, and let's get down to business. Well, this isn't really business, but first, I'd like to introduce myself really quick. My name's Steve Buller, and my education is in business originally. I ran a painting franchise when I was a freshman in college. I went to University of Washington, and that's what got me really excited about business. I also went to graduate school at the UW there, and I got my CPA license, and then I was guided pretty strongly into public accounting, which for any of you who don't know what that is, it's basically the people who watch the big companies and audit them and make sure they're telling the truth to the public. Now, I only survived a couple of years at Ernst & Young, which in a lot of ways represents the core of what I hate about corporate America. Not to come out of the gates too strong here, but all the emphasis is on appearance rather than vision or execution. Does anyone here know what I mean by that? Such an emphasis on appearances? But the good part was it allowed me to see dozens of businesses and get a feel for what works and what doesn't. I worked at a company called InfoSpace when they acquired TaxAct, which is the second in TurboTax, that industry. And they also divested a company called Mercantila, which was an e-commerce company. So I got a lot of insight in acquiring and divesting. I assisted in a public offering on Wall Street with my next company, which is called IntelliCheck Mobilisa. And I supervised the finances and accounting preparations for the pre-IPO stage company Adaptive Biotechnologies. And that was the last company I was at before I made the leap. All the while I was doing this, I was working on small businesses and learning more about entrepreneurship. I really wanted to go out on my own and do something that I enjoyed what I was doing on a daily basis and where I felt like I was having more of an impact on people. So I took the income I had from my job and I started investing in courses, seminars, books, anything I could do to learn how to get away from the 9-to-5. I tried tons of stuff. Some of it worked a little, but wasn't scalable. Some of it didn't really work at all. But I learned from it. You know, I did it the hard way through trial and error, but then I started learning from others who were already doing something similar to what I wanted to do. And this is the key. Can you imagine a shortcut? Instead of the 10 or so years of experimentation that I did before I found this formula, for someone to make that, that transition to 9-to-5 and run their own business. Can you imagine having the blueprint in front of you? Having a proven formula? I mean, how much would this accelerate your success? I look back at myself. How much would it have accelerated my success? How much would having your own online business change your life, though? What would it be like the day that your business completely replaced your employment income? Think about that. Or maybe you would quit well before that, once you see that your business can really scale and you know you've got the proof of concept, you know it's there. What would your colleagues think? How would your family relationships change at this point? I know this is a lot to think about, but this is the whole point of why we're doing this. If we can keep in sight our reasons for wanting a different life, something different than the status quo, then we will really put in the hard work necessary to achieve success. All right, let's dive into the meat of it now. Take a look at the back of the napkin image I created. Remember that the goal here is to understand how to start an online business without quitting your job yet. Let's start by defining the items on the napkin, and then we'll move into the 3 secrets that you see below. All right. First, I just want to highlight why customer impact is at the top of that napkin. Remember that the business guru Peter Drucker says the purpose of business is to create a customer. I would even take that one step further and say it's to create and keep a customer because they're so happy with your products, right? Even if you don't think this is the purpose of business, your best chance of success overall is still to focus on what your customer wants. So we want to keep them in mind at all times. I think that's captured in another great quote around the importance of customers when Michael LaBeouf says that a satisfied customer is the best business strategy of all. So who is your ideal customer? Who are you best suited to help with your knowledge? I want you to be thinking about that already as we go through this stuff. In the same way of thinking, I want to challenge you to ask yourself why you're in business or why you want to own a business at all. Why do you want to create a knowledge business? One of my biggest motivating factors was to get out on my own and away from the toxic corporate environment I was in. But another huge motivator was to share my knowledge with others who were in the same circumstance and that I could help. It is okay to be motivated by selfish reasons, but make sure you balance them out with some unselfish ones. And that's how we're all going to truly succeed together. So, keeping the customer in mind, let's talk about how the napkin shows where they are and where they want to be. This is why anyone buys anything. They want a future outcome that is different than their present state. Now, does this seem painfully obvious or simple to everyone or to anyone out there? Right, I agree it is. But it's also the fundamental concept behind all marketing. And remember, simple does not mean easy. If you can grasp this simple concept and are willing to put in the hard work to execute, there's almost no limit to what you can do with your business. Let's look at it from a few angles. Whenever we're selling something, we need to focus on its benefits, not its features. We can illustrate this with an example. When the average person is purchasing an internet connection, this is just an example, they don't know what 10 Mbps means. Some people might even think they know what it means, but they confuse megabits per second with megabytes per second. But in either case, it doesn't matter. That doesn't matter. People don't want 10 Mbps. They want to be able to stream their favorite movies, play games online, or just be able to email and surf the web. These are the benefits that the person actually cares about. This is why products need to be packaged in a way that solve a specific problem or give that outcome that the customer is looking for. Especially in a knowledge business, what a customer actually receives can be pretty intangible. And that's why it's so important to market your products as a clear solution for something. And that brings us to the gap. Not the department store. This is a much, much more important gap. The gap is the distance between where a person is and where they want to be. Our job is to learn what that is as it relates to our business, and then we package a product that says that it will address the gap. Notice that I don't market my products as learn how to create a 10-class course, right? What did I say? I say, I quit my job to help you quit yours. That's pretty clear what we're focused on, right? My audience is people who have jobs but want to learn how to create an income outside those jobs so they can quit at some point. This is the outcome they desire. Now, let's look at what I call the product arrow. First, I want to talk about something that is very easy to miss in the diagram. We must provide, here, I'll go back really quick. Here we are. Look at that gap between the first product and the lower left. There is a gap, right? And don't confuse it with the other gap. But this is super, super, super important. We must provide value to our customers before they will purchase anything. Call them prospects at this point if you want instead of customers. But the fact remains the same. The only exception to this is if your business comes recommended firsthand from a friend or family. Word of mouth is super powerful. But our products are knowledge. They're intangible. So in general, we give them something for free. Now, how much value do we have to deliver to be worth more than free? You guys are getting this. Exactly. Customers perceive this and they say to themselves, if he gives me this much value for something free, I'm sure his paid products are even better and they're worth whatever they cost. It's not quite that simple, but that's what people think. That's how they feel. And now we've acquired a paying customer. Our goal is to first understand that different customers will want a different level of value from us. Whether that's because of their budget, the amount of time they can commit, or really any other reason, doesn't matter. We still recognize that some customers will stop at our free stuff, and some will want to receive intense one-on-one consulting. The whole gamut there, right? Our job is to be able to offer what our customers want and move them as high up our value scale as possible, and as high as they need to get to be where they want to be. This is the good and ethical form of price discrimination. We're not charging different people different prices for the same things, but we're offering people different packages so we can maximize the value and profit we get from any one customer. One person may love our membership, but if we don't offer them a boot camp or some high-ticket product, we may never be able to serve our customer as best as we can. And we may be leaving money on the table, so neither of those are good. Continuity is a term that's used for any product that generates recurring revenue, right? It keeps coming in. Some people call this mailbox money. I like that term. My favorite example of this continuity is a membership business. People pay a monthly fee to be members, and they receive an ongoing product. One of the main reasons I love this model is that it creates a community with intrinsic value for all members. Another reason, though, is that those members become your most avid fans, and they help sell your business. Finally, this creates a stable, regular income stream that you can rely on and use for planning purposes. You're not always out there selling just to be able to put food on the table, right? And when you get a paying customer, here's a question for you. Should you stop giving them free content? I'm pretty sure you're getting this one right. Yes, you are. Absolutely not. In fact, it's even more important that you continue because it's easier to keep a customer than it is to get a new one. So every time we give an existing customer more value through free content, we make them more avid fans. We keep them as a paying member, and we encourage them to step up to the next level of our products. Okay, now that we have a grasp on the napkin diagram, this is the blueprint for your knowledge business. Let's get into these 3 secrets. Starting with secret number 1. Starting a business doesn't take much money. The world used to be very different, and you would have to invest tens or hundreds of thousands of dollars just to get a business off the ground. But times have changed, and if we design our business right, we don't need to take a lot of risk up front. This initial investment in business infrastructure mostly goes to what are called capital expenditures. If we look at a traditional manufacturing company, like Ford, they have all kinds of expensive items. But for a knowledge business, what do you need? You need a computer. That's about it. Ford's got factory machines, car parts, high-tech computers, safety equipment. There's tons of stuff. But for us, computer. That's pretty good. And most people already have a computer. That's why I say no capital expenditures, all right? The other broad term of expense is called an operating expense. And these are ongoing expenses that the business has, just month after month. Basically, all expenses for your knowledge business are the monthly software expenses that you'll pay to host your content. And a lot of that is even free, like YouTube. You can put countless hours up on YouTube for free. This is amazing. The only significant exceptions to this rule are 1, If you come up with projects like having someone design your website for you, that'll be an upfront cost. And two, once you develop a system that works, you may want to leverage paid advertising so you can put $1 in and get $2 out. But these are the only real exceptions in my mind. Okay, so if this is the case, it doesn't really take much money to start this kind of business, right? Now, you're not going to be the next Ford. At least you're not going to learn how to do that from me. But this kind of business doesn't take much money. Don't you hate having to spend a ton of money on something and not know if it was worth it for a long time? Wouldn't it be nice if you could test it before doing that? That's exactly what we're getting at here. Let's move on to secret number 2. You've already done the hard work. This is a big secret to some people. Fortunately for you, you've already spent years becoming an expert at something, whether you know it or not. So we don't need to go back to school or spend late nights and long weekends developing our expertise. We just need to leverage the knowledge that's already in our heads. Think about the number of hours you've put into your job. If you work 40 hours per week for 5 years, you pass 10,000 hours, which is a threshold that Malcolm Gladwell, he's a famous author, he says this is what's required to become an expert in a subject. Okay, what about hobbies you've had? Now, maybe you don't spend 40 hours a week on a hobby, but you've been doing it since you were 6 years old. And you may already have a group of friends that are into that same hobby. This is a community that you could leverage for your business too. Okay, is there something you're passionate about? And I don't mean you like the idea. I mean you won't stop until other people have heard your message. This is what my business is focused on. I'm on a crusade to educate people so that they don't have to feel like a 9-to-5 salary slave. I've been through that. I've done it. I wouldn't wish it upon anyone. That's my crusade. That's my passion. So these are 3 areas that you can get what I call your wheelhouse from. This is just the area that you're best suited to teach and help people with. If you don't know what a wheelhouse is, don't ponder on it too hard. It's just a term that's used in baseball for the area around the plate that's the best chance for somebody to hit a home run on. And that's what we're looking for. We're looking for your best chance at a home run. And like I said, you've already done the hard work to get this deep knowledge. What you're missing is the broad knowledge about running a business. And that's why I'm here. Okay, so we know we don't need much money to start this knowledge business. And can you now think of some area that you already have a ton of knowledge about? Is there something that you could teach and share with people? Yeah, then trust me, you've already done the hard part. Let me grab a drink of water here, getting a little excited. Okay, so let's move on to secret number 3. You don't have to quit your job yet. This is a huge fear for people, and I understand it. There's a reason they call it the golden handcuffs. It's really hard to want to break out of those. One of my mentors, his name's Nelson. He's a successful entrepreneur in the high-tech space. I asked him if he had one piece of advice to give to someone considering starting a business, what would it be? He said, do it while you still have a job. So I won't even get into my rant about how secure your job is, because I know that's where this fear comes from. If you want, check out the intro in my book for that. But with a business like this, you can retain the security of your 9-to-5, keep that bi-weekly paycheck, and work on your business on the side. This will give you, it'll keep your stress levels down. It'll help you understand the value in building from the ground up. It'll also give you multiple income streams, which Warren Buffett, by the way, I'm sure you've heard of him, says is the most important advice he would give to the average person on their finances. The majority of people have only their paycheck, and that's why I would argue it's not that secure. Don't you hate feeling like you're chained to your desk? Wouldn't it be awesome to be able to work when you wanted, where you wanted, and know that you controlled your business? Have you gotten to the point with your job where you're actually able to save some money? Maybe you spend some on a vacation or some toys here and there. I did that, and that's totally fine. But have you ever wondered how you could invest it for your future? Maybe you have a 401k, I don't know, or maybe you invest in stocks, and that may not give you a return, immediately. Maybe it will give you one down the road. But what about investing in something that you can actually control? That's what investing in your knowledge and your own business is all about. The ultimate goal here is that in the near future, your business income will replace your wages, or enough of them that you can go full time with your business. That's the most exciting time by far, guys. I mean, what would your coworkers say to you if you came in one day and said you were quitting because your online business was supporting you? The key is to be sure to continue to reinvest in your business down the line. By the way, I'm going to plant that in your head right now. So it takes care of you for years to come. You don't just have a little success and then go blow it all on fancy cars and whatever. You want to keep reinvesting in yourself and in your business, your knowledge and your knowledge business. Okay, wow. So that's a lot. Let me ask you a question. We've gone over some cool stuff, right? We've been going for almost a half hour here already. The key is to be sure, like I said, to reinvest in yourself. But here's what we've done so far. We've defined the back of the napkin concept, and we want to understand these three secrets we went over. We went over the three secrets to try to change your way of thinking about what's possible in business. Are you starting to get a picture of how you can start an online business without quitting your job yet? That's my question. What would it be like if you could create that second source of income? How would you feel if you could start telling people that that you own an online business? How would you like to spend time teaching others about something that you're really excited about? And to know that you're having a positive impact on them? And what about the day that your business can support you and you can quit your job? Imagine the freedom that would give you. What would you do with your time then? Now, I know this can be the awkward part, but it really doesn't have to be. You're watching this webinar, and I do have something to sell. If you guys are okay with that, I'd love to share it with you. If not, that's fine. But if you do, let me know. Okay, so I'm getting, yes. Okay, there are some people who probably want to hear about this. So, what I want to share with you today is my Start to Success membership. I mentioned it at the beginning of the webinar, and this is the focus of my business. I'm building an awesome community of like-minded people who want to learn and implement the strategies I teach, so that they can get out of the corporate environment, be their own boss, and have real impact on the world. Now, over the last hour or so, we've shared a bunch of information, but information alone will not get you where you want to be. You can Google anything these days, and you'll find information on it, but that's not useful until someone turns it into knowledge. You have the deep knowledge on a specific subject, and don't worry, I'll help you identify what that is if it doesn't come to mind immediately. But you need the broad knowledge about building this kind of business, and that's what my membership does. There should be a button down below this video for those of you that are all ready to join up. If I've inspired you enough and given you enough already, just click that button and you'll be able to sign up right away. Now, let's get into what you'll get with this membership though. The first thing you'll get when you become a member today, I call the Start to Success formula. And it's an introductory course that goes over all aspects of your knowledge business. This course alone will give you an overview of how to have the right attitude in business, how to identify your wheelhouse, find your market, create your products, and set up your infrastructure. The next thing you're going to get is a sequence of emails in the Seinfeld format. If you've never heard of this before, don't worry about it too much, but this is a template for you to write amazing emails to your audience that entertain, educate, and sell your products. Once you start to build your following, which is a huge part of your business, that list of email subscribers is the most valuable part of your business because they are existing customers who want to hear what you have to say. But you have to learn how to monetize that list, and that's what this does. Really quick, I want to get you guys thinking about these two kinds of people that are out there. There's one person who's really timid and thinks the stuff that I'm going over is cool, but they're never going to act. They just keep scratching their head and wondering why nothing's changing for them. They know what they want, but they're not getting there. Unfortunately, those people are never successful. The other person is like us, I hope. I hope it's like you. They learn stuff, they implement, they get better, and they get what they want in life. Now, if you are the first person, this is probably the time to hang up on the webinar. I don't want to make you feel any worse than you already do, but if you're like this other guy, then let's start making our lives better by taking action and making things happen. Okay, the next thing you're going to get with this membership is huge. The way I've set this up is that any and all new content that I come out with, which, by the way, I do all the time, is yours free. That's part of the membership. A lot of that content I will end up packaging into courses and selling from $500 to $2,500 each, or combined. Depending on when you join, there will already be some completed courses, so you can see this for yourself. But any courses that are still being created while you're a member will be yours automatically. I should have put a ton of pluses after the value of this one, because I'm releasing lots of awesome lessons all the time. If you only get this one thing with your membership, what do you think it would be worth? I'm telling you, this alone would totally be worth it, but you're going to get way more. Now look, I know I get a little excited about this stuff, but that's just because I am so passionate about helping people get out of the corporate environment, because I hated it so much, right? It's got a special place in my heart. But I'm nothing special. I'm human just like you. I've done a ton of trial and error, and I've struggled a lot along the way. But here's the key. If I can do it, then so can you. Especially if you're willing to learn from my mistakes. You can benefit from my mistakes, my trial and error, and use this proven system. That is not all you're getting, though. I'm going to throw in the Formula ebook, which is a fantastic reference material for the Start to Success formula. That's the top one. This combined with that intro course, you'll be able to wrap your head around this whole process in no time, so you can get to work on your new business right away. Another thing I'm going to throw in is a copy of a book I published, which has the same title as this site. I quit my job to help you quit yours. The subtitle for this one is Plan Your Leap from Employee to Entrepreneur. And this book focuses on the planning process of a business. It gives a higher level view of the back of the napkin stuff we just talked about, but it also goes over all the traditional sections of a business plan. You know, like company, product, strategy, and so on, that stuff. And it goes over how you can look at your knowledge business from these different angles. Oh, and you can hear a few funny stories about me too. That's the beauty of a book. Okay, so let's add this up. This gives us a total value of $1,160. And I have one more question to ask you. If all this membership did for you was give you a second stream of income in the near future, would it be worth it? Think about it. What if you could add just $100 to your monthly income and it kept coming? Then you learn to double that and then double it again. How long before you would replace your employment income? What about something less direct than money? What if all this membership does was teach you how to become a best-selling author? Think of the credibility and authority you could develop for yourself in your field with that. Or maybe you're someone who's seen a lot of this stuff, and maybe you've dabbled in starting an online business, I don't know. But you've never taken the leap and followed through. What if all this membership does was give you the kick in the butt you need to finally make a change? Being involved in something like this gives regular and serious motivation to implement this stuff you're learning. Guys, what if all this did was open your eyes to what being an entrepreneur in today's world really means? E-learning is already a 100 billion plus industry. It is huge. But the smaller players are just starting to make serious plays. What would it be worth to see things from a different perspective and learn how to capitalize on this opportunity. I really hope you all see the potential for this to shake you out of your habits, your routine, and give you the life you really want. Looking back, when I was employed, I probably spent over $1,160 on on Starbucks coffee. And I was even one of those people who showed a little restraint. I had some colleagues who, bought every day the Mocha Choca Laca latte for $8. But if none of those things hit home for you, here's the last thing you'll get, and I guarantee this is worth it. You'll be joining a community of like-minded people who all have the same goal: to create a life of passion, impact, and freedom. I've learned that when you surround yourself with the right people, there is no stopping you. The collaboration, support, partnerships, and even just the mental shift this creates is profound. And that's the real goal of this membership. I want to develop a group of people who aren't satisfied with the status quo, who see something wrong with today's toxic corporate environment, who believe that they have a chance for something better, and who are willing to take that chance. Boom. So now that I'm confident everyone is ready, let's look at all you need to do to sign up. This is a membership, and it's obviously not going to cost you $1,160 plus dollars. You get everything we just went over for $27 a month. Guys, this is less than my gym membership. Don't get me wrong, staying in physical shape is important, but becoming empowered to live the mental, social, and physical life I want, that's worth more. So, click the button below to join right now. Okay, I did promise, though, that if you stayed until the end, I'd give you a look at my napkin for my knowledge business. So let's go over it. And then I'll walk you through signing up for anyone who hasn't done that yet. I'll step you bit by bit through the process. By the way, once you do sign up, you can start mirroring my napkin exactly, so take a good look. Use it as a template for developing your products. We've gone over what all these pieces mean, so let's just take a look at what my different products are. The first, however, is not the book, remember? I have all kinds of free stuff like this webinar first. I also have educational emails. I talked about those Seinfeld emails. That's a great example. I send that stuff out, and I give free PDF of my book as a hook. This is the stuff that we're giving to people to demonstrate the value that we can add with our paid products. We give them something free, and we show how much value we can add with just that. Okay, the first price point is my paperback, which I value here at $17, even though the price may vary a little. But books are funny because they take probably the most work and sell for the least. In reality, this book is worth way more because it helps establish me as an expert, make connections, and more. Then we get into my already completed courses. Remember, while you're a member, you get all new content for free. But then I take those courses and sell them for different amounts, depending on how much content is there, what the promise, it depends on a lot of different stuff. And I use these products to get more people to sign up as members as well. Pretty easy to do when you say, you get this grandfather in. Oh, you paid a lot for this course, but look, become a member and all future courses are already yours. Okay, after that is a boot camp, which runs a group of people through all the steps of setting up their knowledge business. The exact content and length can vary to accommodate different people, and that's why the price can vary as well. But that's almost one-on-one coaching, right? It's a group coaching scenario where people get to, collaborate together, but also give feedback, and where some hands-on work is actually done with the individual. And last is my inner circle, where I provide one-on-one coaching to people who want hands-on guidance. This is where I can add the most value. That's why it's the highest up. And I tailor it much more to exactly what my customer wants to do, and when and how they want to do it. Then, of course, you see there's my Start to Success membership. And this is the backbone of my business and all the good free content that I keep going on. So that's the Napkin. If you're curious, by the way, the bootcamp and the inner circle members get membership access as well. It's just part of the deal. Okay. For those of you that are now ready, let's walk through how to sign up. Let me pull up this URL that you're seeing right in front of you. And all you have to do to get there is hit the button below. But if I go, and don't worry, I'll bring this over in 1 second. Oh, I suppose I probably could have clicked on that. But that's okay. Let's bring this in. I've filled out this info just now, and you can see all you're going to have to do is hit the button below. You'll be taken to this URL. Enter your shipping info. Probably more realistic than this shipping info. Yeah, right. Then you're going to go to step 2. You're going to enter your billing info. And then all you have to do is hit complete order. And you'll be sent right away to a page where you just create a login. Be sure to save this, by the way. And then you can dive into the material. It's that simple, okay? And remember, I recommend you start with the Start to Success formula. That is the course that's going to go over all the basics of this stuff, and you're going to learn a ton just from that, okay? All right, let's get rid of that. Now, everyone, you've probably been on one of these webinars before, and you get all excited, and then what happens the next day? Nothing, right? That's because old habits die hard. You'll go back to your office tomorrow, and it'll be the same. Everything will be the same. The only way you'll be successful is if we break that habit right now. And we're going to do that by you becoming a member. Invest in yourself and your future right now, so you have all the tools you need to break that habit and have the success that you need. Get what you need to reach your goals, what your definition of success is. Okay, everyone, this webinar is over. Thank you so much for everyone coming. Go sign up right now. If you haven't done it yet, click the button below or go to iquitmyjobtohelpyouquityours.com/members-offer. If you still have a question, email support@stephenbuller.com and we will get to you. Thanks to everyone for attending. I really hope, like I said, this is a free webinar, and I hope you got so much value out of it that you see the value in my paid products. And I really do look forward to seeing what everyone can accomplish with this membership. Thanks.